Bienvenida, bienvenido, and wahi. I hope each and every one of you feels welcome. Hey, it is Destiny back. If you're here by way of the Smooch Sands Facebook page, hey sis, hey, it's me. I'm She, the girl that runs that page. So if you're on Facebook, sometimes just chopping it up with Smooch. It's me, Destiny. I run the page. Smooch does exist. Go back and look at a few videos and you will find her. Listen, if you have subscribed to the channel, thank you. I appreciate you. If you have not subscribed to the channel, I need you to stop right now. Yes. And do me a quick favor. Subscribe. And when I get through clowning, we can get into this next topic, right? Listen, the next topic is about why do I advocate? Why do I go so hard defending people? So, previous video I did on bullies, bullying, people being mistreated, abused, attacked, I don't know, physically attacked. I covered a couple of stories as to times I saw myself in that situation and how I was able to insert myself in a very safe way and help somebody. This one is why I go so hard to do that. Listen, as a child, it's hard for me to say I was bullied because I didn't see it as that. I'm so different. I'm so different. I take stuff to the chin, like whatever. I just do. So it's hard for you to try to use your words to hurt and or tear me down. So it was bullying, yes. I just didn't. Let me put it this way. When I say it's hard for me to say bullying, because I never found myself home crying, running to my mother talking about it. I never thought about committing suicide, hurting or harming myself. I was never backed into a corner. So it wasn't bullying to me, though what the children did was bullying. Let me tell you what the thing was when I was a young girl. I'm going to show y'all something really weird. I was playing around the other day. I actually saw it on I thought on some reel where somebody did this little weird thing with nail polish. I had my phone in my hand looking at this reel, and I'm like, what are they getting ready to do? I'm trying. You know how sometimes you see stuff unfolded on a reel, and you're like, what are they doing? And so I just saw they took out a nail, they made one color, the other side of the nail another color, and then she did something and she zigzagged across it and she made a design. Y'all, this was me trying to do it. This was me trying to do a replica of it. So you know this is not on the, this is me doing a replica of it, or trying to. It's a terrible job. What she did end up really cute. And colors don't even, well, the colors didn't match. You two different colors, you just do it. But that was me trying to do it, right? That was me trying to do it. So the reason I'm showing you this, because it is on topic. I know y'all think, look at how busy brain got to talking about something else. No, it don't. I'm on topic. So the reason I'm showing the nail, the polished nail, is because some of the things that people always said about me when I was a child that I guess you could say was positive or cute or compliments was I always have had long fingernails. Now that right now is my longest nail. This has always been, this is not my middle finger, guys, but this has always been my second longest nail ever, always. It's probably too bright. Yeah. My thumb usually gets pretty long, and this thumb. These are my natural nails. This whole hand, as you can see, usually is very, very long. Hands is a little bit dry, but I'm going to need y'all to give me some grace because we already know I have OCD really, really, really badly. I keep my hands washed and cleaned at all times so they stay dry. That's just that. I always having long nails. I'll insert a picture of when I had hair down my back. People always say, oh my gosh, like when they describe me, it was always, you know, the short chick with the long hair and the long nails. I'll keep it cute with the other assets in my body that people talk about. I've always been hippie. We'll leave it there. We'll leave it clean and leave it there. Something I've always disliked. I used to always have people say, what do you mean you don't like the fact that you have a nice shape or things of that nature? And I would say, or people would then say, girl, people would die to have a shape like yours, or people would die to have a hips and booty like you. And my little smart, sarcastic comeback was always, well, they could die and they can have it. That's literally how much. I don't even think I dislike my body type as much as I dislike people talking about it. I think that was the thing for me. It's just, I'm sick of people talking about my behind, my hips. It's hereditary, my entire family. So yeah, those were the compliments that I would always get. Long hair, long nails, hips, and booty. That was it. Oh, and my smile. People always talk about my smile. My teeth. I have pretty teeth. I have a pretty smile. Okay, I'm not tooting my own horn, y'all. We're going somewhere with these compliments others gave me. I guess I didn't think about it till now. I could think people had more kind things to say about me than they did negative. But as a child, the thing that people always said about me that was negative was about my eyes. As a child, I would hear ribbit, frog, big eyes, pop eyes all the time. It just didn't bother me. So I think I go so hard for people is because I didn't have a problem with my eyes. In fact, guys, I did not know I had big eyes until people, you have an argument, have a little tiff with a girlfriend in school, or you're at that moment, you're not friends. And you're arguing and you think you're going to argue about the class or the boy or the, I don't know, pencil, the clothes, the shoes they let you borrow, you let them borrow, the shirt, whatever. And then all of a sudden, with your Popeye self, what? Can you repeat that? Froggy, ribbit with your bug eyes. And the more I heard it, I'm thinking, that really does sound like a you problem, because I never thought I had big eyes. I didn't know I had big eyes, right? It did make me, and again, I never went home crying. I didn't want to kill myself. It was never, but I did, when I became aware of the fact other people saw my eyes big, and apparently it was something negative, I found myself squinting a lot. Anytime I would talk to people, I found myself squinting, and it was to appear not to have big eyes is what I did. That's how it impacted me. That's the worst it did to me, right? And it would be mainly when I was around adults. You look up to adults. You want them to think, whatever positive of you. So when I was talking to somebody older, I really did it with them. I don't know why. Maybe I thought coming into teenage years and stuff, maybe I would get a job if I didn't have big eyes. You think on it immature level as a child, as a young person. So I don't know. I used to always talk to adults and always used to squint. And I used to think that it was like an intelligent look. Like, oh, they're just going to think I wear glasses and I don't have them on. Or maybe I have contacts and I forgot to put them in. Or, I left my glasses somewhere. I just don't have them on. So I'm squinting because I have an eyesight problem. Nobody's going to know I'm squinting because I think I have big eyes because people keep telling me that. So to me, it was an intelligent thing, kind of like someone's talking to you, kind of thoughtful, like I'm in deep thought listening to you. I'm listening to you very intently. Let me squint my eyes. Seriously, as a young person, I'm thinking immature, but I've always been a little bit wiser than, as they call it, wise beyond my years. So part of it might have been some immature thinking, but in my mind, I'm thinking mature. I'm thinking adult-like. The adults probably will think I'm smart if I squint and I'm really paying them attention. I'm for real, y'all. That's what it did to me. It made me want to squint. Let me tell you how that impacted and turned me around. A story, right? So at about 16, I was working at a Burger King. Very popular Burger King in my town. And I was working there. I used to work there like round the clock. Like I was an old lady that had a few kids at the house. Seriously, I used to work as much as I could work, especially on the weekends. I would work at night, which was a hangout spot as well. So I work at night and work all the way until the morning. And the morning come, I'm like, so I'll work till lunch. I was like getting overtime. This has nothing to do with nothing. I'm gonna go ahead and insert it. My mom told me when I got my job at Burger King that if I say $500, she would match $500 and I can get my first car. Baby, I was trying to get 2 or 3 cars. Okay, that's how hard I was working. Let me get back to topic. So one day there was this guy that used to come in there all the time. Something about him I didn't like. I didn't like something about him. I can't tell you. I don't like the way he looked. He looked creepy. Okay, he did. He had this creep look. He looked kind of, in my mind, a little bit pedophile-ish. If that's a word? If it's not, I made it up. Give me grace. He just looked creepy. We'll call him Mr. Creep Man. And so, me being OCD, I've always been this way. I used to have to make my own sandwiches for lunch. Everybody would pretty much make their own sandwiches. Every now and again, you just get somebody on the burger table to fix your sandwich. Y'all can't touch my food. So I was back there fixing my own sandwich, and I'm noticing him out in the lobby or in the building. I probably get ready to order. So I went and sat. Most of us employees, if we didn't have customers in the first little booth by the lobby, we would always sit there. But if somebody sat there, we just went somewhere else. But that would be our table. So I got my sandwich and I sat there. And tell me why this man, again, he was in the lobby ordering his food. When he got his food, he came and sat down at the table with me. I'm like, Mr. Creep, Mr. Creep, Mr. Creep. I am not that young lady. I am not. I promise you. My tongue is lethal. I'm like, I will throw venom at you. Please get up and leave me alone. I'm trying to have a break. Yeah. He came and he sat down and small talk. And again, I've always been a thinker. This didn't happen when I became an adult. I'm thinking like, just play it cool. If he doesn't say or do anything inappropriate, let the man sit here. Don't overreact and get up, move to another table like you a young girl with a hot attitude. Just chill. The man sat down, whatever. He was a regular customer, so, that gave me a little bit of comfort. Fast forward. We were talking, and he asked me, why was I squinting my eyes? see how that folded? Just came full circle. I was like, and I don't know why, because I did have a bit of an attitude as a teenager, so I don't know why I didn't tell him, sir, mind your business. I'm squinting my eyes because I want to, because they my eyes. That's something I typically would have said. Why he didn't get the business, I do not know. I don't know if I was tired. I don't know if something about him felt comforting, because again, he was a regular customer. I do read energies well, and apparently I felt comfortable and no type of threat, or he was about to, even though he looked like a creep, I felt like he wasn't about to be creepy. I don't know why I decided to tell him the story. I said, you know what? I'm going to tell you why I squint my eyes. And so I told him the story about always being picked on kids and, big-eyed frog. I said, they be saying crazy stuff like calling me a frog, ribbit, pop-eyed, frog, whatever. Like, people have always said that, and I just formed a habit to squint my eyes. And I was like, it's odd that you noticed that, because I kind of thought I had grown out of it. Again, I'm 16 at this point, so I'm still squinting my eyes, right? But again, I did it. When it happened, I did it for a long time. It was a habit of mine to squint my eyes on a regular basis. So at 16, apparently I was still doing it. Anywho, he looked at me, and the whole time I'm talking, he just looking so intently without his eyes being squinted. He's looking, and he's just like, and I'm like, why are you looking at me like a puppy dog with his head doing all types of twists and turns and bends and tricks, and why? He said, you know what, young lady, it's interesting that first of all, children would be so cruel. I was like, yeah, apparently, whatever. I said, it don't really bother me to the point I ever like cried over it, but that was just what I started doing, squinting my eyes so they wouldn't appear to be big. He said, I have something I want you to do for me. I want you to do me a favor. And I'm like, see, Mr. Creep, Mr. Creep, I'm not doing you no favors, Mr. Creep. Mister, do you a favor? Why? He said, then he corrected himself, said, well, not so much a favor. He said, but I want you to move forward in life. And the next time anybody ever looks at you and say you have big eyes, you make sure you stop and you tell them, don't forget, beautiful. You let them know you have big, beautiful eyes, because you have some of the most beautiful eyes I've ever seen. I was like, Mr. Creep, go ahead, Mr. Creep, what you talking about? It was the creepiest, not creepiest, like really sweet thing. That man gave me insight. And if you go back and look at any of my videos and think about it, you ain't seen me squint on none of them. Seriously, guys. I seriously took what that man said. And I can't say it changed my life forever. Well, like my life was ruined. He changed my perspective forever. He did. I never thought of it. And it's so funny that from a child, I mean like younger, like maybe, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 teenage years, young teenage years, 12, 13, I don't know, those younger years of people always saying that when they were mad at me, or whatever, froggy, ribbit, that's why your eyes pop-eye with your pop-eye itself. I heard it a lot during my childhood, right? I'm 16, maybe even 17, 16, 17. I know I got my first job at 16. And my first job was actually at McDonald's. At some point, I went to Burger King. I think after Burger King, I went to KFC. Those are my 3 high school, teenage, first jobs. But we're going to say at 16 was the first time an adult, not a child, not a silly willy child, said something to me that was more meaningful and thoughtful and kind about my eyes that I'd ever heard my entire 16 years, right? And again, because I was pretty much a mature person, I thought about that thing and I'm like, hmm, what I start doing? Going home all up in the mirror trying to figure out. That man said I had big, beautiful eyes. So I'm in the mirror trying to, I'm still trying to figure out where they were big at. But too many other people, too many different children had said it. So apparently I have big eyes, right? Um, and I'm looking like, well, I never really saw big, but now I gotta look for beautiful because they say big, he say beautiful. I got big, beautiful eyes. And I never really saw it. I think it was when I started dibbling and dabbling and experimenting with a little bit of makeup as a teenager. I started to, when I would put eyeliner, that's when I thought my eyes are kind of pretty. They look like baby doll eyes. They're kind of Diana Ross, Diana Rossish, right? I'm thinking, I see pretty now. I do see pretty. I don't know about beautiful, but I definitely see big pretty eyes. And the crazy thing about it, I think because of being teased about it for so long, I just thought big eyes equaled ugly. Who's to say big eyes can't be beautiful? So let's fast forward. What I learned: children will pick on big eyes, thinking they're ugly, make you think you like a frog, ribbit, pop-eyed, frog eyes. It just sound ugly, right? But then I've gotten into my adulthood, and baby, my entire life, from that moment on, 16 on, I have never heard anybody ever refer to my eyes anything other than beautiful, pretty. You have some pretty eyes. And most people say beautiful. You have some beautiful eyes. Oh, I love your eyes. Of course, people get a little, partners have gotten a little seductive and called them sexy, but we don't get into all that. Um, so here's the thing. I think deep down, I still have a little bit of self-consciousness about my eyes, just a smidgen. And I don't even know why. I think I can't say more years. I think it's what people instill in you as a child. Those things get deeply rooted and embedded in you more so than anything. I do know, just like people have always complimented my hips and my shape, I've never liked it, but other people adore it. And that's just kind of what it is. So it's kind of the same thing. I think I'm not like a fan of my eyes, but I'm confident enough to know they please enough other people. You get it? Like literally, people have always said the thing about my hips, girl, people would die to have a shape like yours. People die to have, and I'm thinking, okay, well they can die to have it. I probably would appreciate it if people didn't talk about it all the time. It's like you can't refer to me or describe me by my name or my nails and my hair, but just talk about somebody's behind all the time is a little weird. So I just think it's that thing where other people appreciate my big beautiful eyes, where I've kind of always had this little want to squint. But if you go back, you'll see I don't squint anymore. I don't do that. I mean, unless it's something in them or something's going on. I'm not a squinter to make my eyes look smaller. I no longer do that. I do appreciate and I do believe I have big, pretty eyes. And so, with that being said, the reason I chose to do this topic again is to talk about why I advocate so hard for people that are what I call the underdogs, people that are being bullied, talked about, teased, ridiculed. I've been through that. It did not impact me in a negative way badly. It gave me some insight. It made me walk around and squint. Again, I'm probably out of light looking like I'm a little dark back there. And so I am that person that once I see that happening to somebody else, I like to step up for that person. I'm going to take up for that person. Again, I wasn't affected in a negative way, a bad way, right? Not really, really bad. And I don't want to see anybody else do that, but I do know it stayed with me. So let's just be clear. It didn't mess me up mentally. I wasn't crying and oh my gosh, and I squinted a little bit, and I did it in a positive light. I thought I was looking mature. I thought I was looking intelligent. I thought adults would think, she's thinking about some stuff. That baby got something on her mind. I did it, and it came out to be positive for me. But it stayed with me for years. So I don't want other people to go through things feeling like because somebody else has told you something negative about yourself, it is so. or it has to be bad. Baby, you said what you said about me. Guess what? I do have big eyes. I have big eyes. But you didn't tear me down with those negative, nasty comments as children, or I don't ever as an adult hear anybody negatively talk about my eyes. But nonetheless, I go so hard for people because I've experienced it. I've dealt with it. I think it's horrible. It's mean. It's nasty, and it's negative. This wasn't about this, but I'm going to insert it. I grew up in a household where I was the family member with the darkest skin in the family, in the household, right? My mom, to me, never really made it an issue. She's very, very fair skinned. I don't ever recall a time where verbally she said anything about having a darker child or anything of that nature. However, there was a period of time where her other children would say things to me. And so outside of the house, girls that would fall out with me would talk about the big eyes, ribbit, pop eyes. Inside of the home, I don't know where they got it from, but the siblings were people that would call me Juju baby, Tar baby. Those were the inside of the home names that I was called. Yeah. And for that, again, I think for a while, I went through something where I wished I was of lighter skin. I didn't like the fact I was dark skinned. The whole point of this is, if you think about what I'm saying, I didn't have issues with these things before other people said things about the things repeatedly. I was called Tar baby and Juju baby for a long time. And when one of them slipped up or was bold enough to say, well, my mom or my mother heard it, talk about punishments being handed out. She did not play that. Ooh, those two stayed on punishment they were grounded for a very long time. I think once there was a warning that if I ever hear it again in my house, I'm going to tell y'all, as my mother would say, I'm going to tell y'all asses up. That's clearly what I recall her saying. I'm going to tell y'all asses up if I ever hear you refer to your sister in that way. And at some goofy point, they did it again. And it was some butt whoopings and some terrible punishment. So, yeah. Again, I'm a very strong person. I'm very confident in who I am. I love the skin that I'm in. If I was darker than what I am, I would be okay with it. But for somebody to want to talk about the color of your skin, I can truly say, I'm not the darkest skin there is. You get what I'm saying without saying anything negative about a darker skinned person. You tried to tear me down, but baby, it's people with skin darker than me. You probably wish I was that so you could really talk about me. And even they have beautiful skin. So people, you just can't tear people down where you can't tear them down. But you can impact some people because we're all built of different things. We're all built of different strengths. So my strength to not be affected to where I want to die or cry could be somebody else's demise. Somebody could just want to be like, they keep talking about me, I'm going to color my skin, my eyes big, and boom, next thing you know, there's a funeral service because somebody just couldn't take the picking and the taunting. And I just think it's rude, it's cruel, and we shouldn't do it. So I'm going to wrap this up. I think it's important to stand behind those people that are being bullied and not be the bully. Don't be a bully. Don't ridicule and tease people about things because we all have something that is not our strongest asset, something that's just not our best feature. And so with that, just to have the strength to be confident within yourself, whatever it is you have that you don't like, a nose, lips, whatever. Like I said it on a very, very early video, I never realized how thin my lips were. I never. I mean, how often do we talk and look at ourselves talk? So to realize that my lips are so thin, especially my top lip, I never realized it. I mean, I guess it was nothing for anybody to ever mention, talk about, tease me about, even say it. I literally learned that doing my YouTube videos. Looking at my videos, like, sometimes, especially when I smile, sometimes my smile is so big, my lip literally disappears. I'm like, never knew it. But it is what it is. I love the skin I'm in. The things about myself that I was teased inside the home, outside amongst children, it is what it is. I'll just say takeaway is to be mindful of those things, to try not to let it go on in your household amongst your children. Support even adults, like, and I've noticed a whole lot more on social media when people post something in the comment, make a post, and it's supposed to be something funny to tear somebody down. Oh my goodness, let me get rounds of applause, rounds of applause, rounds. Let's make it rounds of applause, rounds of applause. I am so ecstatic to see people shooting that down now. Like, for real, sis, that's a problem now. You know, that's a problem with us women. We want to tear each other, da da da, or that one fell flat. You know, I love to that. And that's not even bullying. That's people taking up for the good, the right, the um the feelings of somebody else. So I love to see it. So again, I love to see people do more of that. I think it's more people understanding and learning and wanting to be better and do more when it comes to remain positive with social media. You know, a lot of us like to engage on there and get on there. And so why make it such an ugly, tear down, derogatory, you know, why make that space out of social media? So listen, I'm going to wrap this up. We're going to head on to the next subject. I thank you all for watching. Stay tuned. Keep watching. I will see you all next time with my little bitty tiny top lip.